listening to The Basics Show with Bay Ragney and Sick Nick Wilkinson.
Oh my God, we are so random.
Sick Nick.
What's up, buddy?
What's going on, dude? Good morning.
No, I was up in the morning.
Too funny.
What's going on?
Well, yeah, let's, it's Mother's Day, so happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
I have a topic for that later on, so I'll hold it. But yes, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. I do mean that.
It's kind of, let me ask you, like, cause your mom has passed on like my mother has. And,
right.
Like it's just a little while ago, we were sitting out back and Coco turned to me and said, she's like, you just look really sad. Like I'm getting a real sad vibe from you. Like you thinking of your mom and like your sister and I was, and like, do you get like that same, just get like a sadness, like just because they're not here and it just kind of, there's an important piece missing on this day.
It's rough, I had such a sort of love-hate relationship with my mom, you know what I mean, that sometimes there's a very sort of coldness and detachment from our relationship. But it happens especially on holidays, and Mother's Day is one of them, especially with the new baby in the house. And I think lately, though, it's been more of like, how do I put it, like, I wish I was the person that was able to hold everyone together, you know what I mean? Like Christmas, right. Everybody would come over, or like, you know what I mean? Like we would all have dinner together if my mom was alive. So like there's more to it than just even her presence, you know what I'm saying? Like she was kind of the bridge between siblings and stuff like that.
It's weird because my mom's kind of the same way with our family. Like she was definitely kind of like the glue that held
right.
the family together, whether it was her side of the family or my father's side. It was weird. There was definitely like she was definitely like a glue that held the family together, and family get-togethers and stuff like that. And there was like after she passed, like I'm not going to say like the two sides of my family were ever like really close, but there was definitely more of a closeness when she was alive. And then there was a long period, after she had passed, that there was not that closeness. But then like after my sister passed away 5 years ago, like I turned around and like I really wanted to take that spot over. I felt that void, especially with my sister gone, where I wanted to really be that glue and be oh, what the fuck? My fucking internet dropped.
Yeah, it was weird because it almost like signaled us first. I heard this beep, and then within like 2 seconds it dropped.
Wow. Yeah, I didn't hear no signal or nothing. I just, like, I was hearing you. Yeah, I was hearing you, like, you were going, like, are you there? Are you there? I can't hear you.
Oh, it must have cut. Yeah. That's funny.
Weird. So,
we're all up in the conversation already, you know what I mean?
Right.
Mess us up.
So I was saying, like, I don't know how far you heard me. Did you hear, so my mom was like the glue that held, like, my family together, both sides of the family, and,
right.
There was the gap, after she had passed, and then, like, after my sister had passed, I kind of, like, wanted to step into that role and try to, reunite the families a little more and have more of a family unit and more family functions and stuff like that. And I turned around and I was pretty open to them. And I said, like, I want you all in my life. I want you all in my family's life. And, I want to do things, all of us together. And I plan to try to do these like get-togethers and parties. And, I will invite you all. And I know there's times there's family feuds and fights and all that stuff, and people don't come to things. And I'm the biggest one to be guilty of stuff like that in the past. But like, my door and my functions are always open to all yous, and I always want you all here. And I did it for a little while, and it was really good. And then, there was just, not that anything happened, just, we just were doing family functions at, down in Philly, other people's houses and all. So but it definitely, I did notice more of a closeness. Sadly, like after my sister had passed. I think it was kind of like a situation where, you know, there's more people and, you know, before it's too late, let's really be a family.
Yeah, I think one of the things I miss the most about Pennsylvania is that sort of like exactly what you're talking about. You know what I mean? Like there was a point in my life where like cousins were a really big deal. You
Sure.
know what I mean? Like they were your best friends. They were the people that you hung with. And now like, I have a cousin who just had a baby and, she lives in California and I wouldn't say that we're close enough for me to go to California and like congratulate her, even though like we do talk regularly on like Instagram and stuff like that. And it does sort of make me sad that there isn't this like, it spreads out over time. You know what I mean? Like, aunts and uncles, they're not as close once the mom's there because it's their brother and sister that wasn't around. You know what I mean? And then their kids kind of get their own lives and go in their own directions. And it sucks. We actually have like a Wilkinson family reunion every other year in Pennsylvania.
Nice.
I've never been to one of them. They always seem to have them at like exactly the worst time for me to travel. So, yeah.
You can really try to make a point to get there for one of them.
I feel what you're saying, but like it's hard.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like it's when I have to travel, especially now with the wheelchair too. Like it's an ordeal. Like I can't just leave Kate at home with both kids. I can't. You know, do I take the whole family? Then it costs 4 times as much.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it's just there's huge factors.
Yeah.
But they usually do. They go up to this like remote campsite where they've, you know, rented out all these spaces and stuff, and you know they do camping and swimming and activities and a lot of drinking and yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah, I miss that stuff, man. That is the one thing I miss with of PA for sure is just not being there with the family.
Yeah. But, you know, there's other good shit. I don't know. I guess when you get to be like a grown up and you start making like your own friends, that they sort of substitute in and out for that. But like the world has changed from that. You know what I mean? Like people don't really have poker night anymore, or they don't really have like that Saturday party where it's like it starts in the afternoon, but it kind of goes all night, and then there's like a sleepover at the end of it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like instead, everybody's just on Facebook talking shit.
Now, do you find yourself, because this is, I've found myself this way, you know, since I've moved to Nashville, with family members almost kind of closer, because I'm actually in contact with them more now, whether, you know, through text or Facebook. I really found myself closer to some of my cousins who, like some that I haven't been close to, you know, since I was a kid, and others who I've remained close with, and I just feel even closer to them.
Yeah, definitely, man, because, and it's one of the things I love the most about Facebook is, like, it's like this never-ending conversation of, like, sharing pictures and jokes and little side conversations, and you do end up being closer because it's a lot easier to log on to Facebook, talk a little bit, and log off than it is to, like, drive to someone's house or, you know what I mean, like, all that they used to do. So, in a way, definitely, but, like, when you have sort of a small, isolated family like I do, like a lot of our activities, a lot of our family time is just me, Kate, Becca, the baby, and Helen. Not even Joe, who lives in the house. He doesn't usually participate in a whole lot of our stuff. And we don't really fuck with Kate's sister or anything like that. And then everybody else lives back east, like literally everybody. So like, it still seems isolating and lonely at times, you know what I mean? Maybe less for Kate because her sister and her mom are out here, but definitely for me.
Now, here's an interesting thought, like, and this like happened like last night. This is what makes me think of this. So, we were talking about a situation last night, and about a person, and what was it? So I said, the two biggest things I always hear my mother's voice say to me are these two things, and one of them was the biggest lesson I think she always taught me in life. But the first thing she always used to call me, "You dumb mother," or "You dumb son of a bitch." I was
okay,
because I would always just I would fuck up. Especially with school, and it used to drive her nuts. She would be so upset that I was just fucking up in school royally, and she used to call me, "You dumb son of a bitch," so much, and it just kind of like stuck in my head, like always. And she would get so angry. And one time, I turned around and I put a stop to the dumb son of a bitch comment, because I turned around and I said, "Don't you realize you're insulting yourself when you say that?" And she fucking smacked me across the face.
But did she ever say it again?
No, nope. No. But at that point I was like 15 years old. So I mean, like, so yeah. But the other thing was, whenever she always told me, whenever people are, don't like you, or they're doing stuff to you, or they're doing stuff behind your back, and you, especially if you know it, she said, you always kill them with kindness. Be as nice as possible to them, and just kill them with as much kindness as possible, and it'll just eat at their insides, and it'll work them to no end. So just be the better person and kill them with kindness. And I've always done that. And I've always used that saying so much in life to people. I try to teach my kids that, and I was saying it last night to Coco's daughter. I was telling her those two stories. So those are like the two biggest things I remember, like my mother's voice in my head with those two things. Like, do you have any things that ring with that remind you of your mother, like two sayings she would say to you, or two lessons, or that really you stick to?
One of the jokes in my house is, it's not really like from my mom, but it sort of reminds me of my mom, is I say to Becca, like, if she's giving me a little bit of lip, or if I, like, send her to her room and she, throws a temper tantrum or whatever, well, whatever kids do these days, I always tell her, my mom used to say, laugh and the whole world laughs with you, cry, and I'll give you something to cry about, you little bastard. And she's like, your mom was not a good person. Like, you shouldn't use that as an example. But no, I mean, I guess the lessons that I took the most from it was just like, she always made a big deal about family time, like holidays. Anytime there was a chance for us to like celebrate together, even if we didn't have enough, a whole lot of money, it was just a homemade cake, but it was like non-optional. This is what we're doing today. We're spending the day with each other. You know what I mean? Like, and I like that. I do. And surprisingly, she was big into education, despite the fact that she didn't have much of one. She was a very sort of a strong proponent of high school and college and stuff like that. So I think she definitely, left me with some lessons there. I'll tell you what I have been thinking about a lot lately is, I don't know if this is going to make any sense, but I'll try. She used to do things like, she would buy a gift, or she would have like a memory that she would share, or a story, and she would get this bright, like, smile, like almost over-exaggerated excitement about it to like try and get you excited about it. And I remember being like a preteen and being like, this is so lame. And like, I can see the look on my face today, and I'm thinking like, damn, couldn't you just let her be happy? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you have to be a dick. Like, why you gotta bust balls, Nick? Like she was so animated about it. You know what I mean? Like, this is so exciting. Like I imagine a mom would to their little kids. You know what I mean?
Right. You were getting to the age too, where you were like, where all kids get to that age where it's like not cool to hang out with mom or whatever.
I'm like, no, great, you found your favorite book at the dollar store. I'm so excited. And she wanted to have like a conversation about it, and I was just like, wow, you're a dick.
Oh, that's funny.
I just wanted to play Mortal Kombat. You know what I mean? Like,
Do you remember? And I was asked this earlier by Coco. She asked me like, did I ever do anything special for my mom on Mother's Day? And I was like, no. Like I don't remember. I think when you're a little kid, you make in school, you make stuff or whatever. But
right.
I was 18 when she passed, almost 19, and no, I mean like I would get her a card or flowers, on Mother's Day
Sure.
as a teenager, but that was about it. It was like nothing over the top, nothing elaborate. Never really had the chance to. Like, did you ever do anything like over the top elaborate for your mom? Like that you remember?
I wouldn't say over the top or elaborate. Like, we would always try to come over for dinner or make it like a special visit. Like you said, flowers, chocolate, candy, stuff like that. Although one time we did, we took her and her husband to Shania Twain in Trenton for Mother's Day.
Oh, nice.
And that was really fun. She had a blast. You know what I mean? Like, she had a really good time, and it was a really good concert as well. So I don't know if that's super elaborate, but a lot of
cool.
like, more. She really liked personal stuff, so like a handwritten card would go a lot further than like, you know what I mean, a Hallmark card or whatever.
Right.
Even as an adult, I would make like, make it up on the computer or whatever, make my own card and.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Then we moved to Arizona and yeah.
Now how about
never saw anyone again.
Now how about like for Kate? What did you do for Kate today?
Oh no, my mom's dead. I don't fuck with that. Like Mother's Day isn't on me anymore. Like I have an 18-year-old daughter and a 10-month-old daughter, so that's on them. Like I have a very strict no, and I'll tell you why. Okay, I didn't want to get into this, but the reason that I do that, not yet, I wanted to get into this, is because in a lot of ways Mother's Day pisses me off because it's like twice the holiday that Father's Day is. And I don't know if it's the same for you, man. You may have really like grateful, like awesome people, but like there always seems to be more of an effort for Mother's Day, and it goes on all day, not just until the gifts are given. And like, okay, so I did the driving and stuff, but Becca paid for her own shit, and Kate likes orchids, so they got her some orchids, and Becca told them they were from Ronnie, and then she bought her, she knew that Kate was making fried chicken tonight in the new pressure cooker because that's like her mom's favorite meal, so she's making that for her mom. So okay. Becca's making steamed clams.
Mm.
She got 5 pounds of steamed clams for Kate to eat because that's like her favorite meal. And I just basically drove her around to pick up the stuff, but I don't get into that myself because that shame my mom. You know what I mean? I'm off that hook. Now when Becca was a littler kid and it was just the one kid or whatever, yeah, sure, totally. You know what I mean? But not anymore. They're grown up and she's grown up enough to do that shit herself now, and I'm not trying to be a dick, but I don't see it reciprocated on Father's Day. On Father's Day it's more what do you want to eat, fat guy? And then here's a tie. Or you know what I mean? Here's something you didn't ask for.
Your socks and underwear.
Right. You know, I'm oh wow, thank you. I'm so appreciative that this is what I got after getting fucking flowers and jewelry and candy and 10 pounds of clams and you know what I mean? Thanks for the socks, asshole. No, I mean it's. I guess it is what it is. It seems to be that way for a majority of America, to be honest with you. Father's Day is just a lesser of the two holidays. I don't see very many Father's Day specials at department stores and grocery stores and stuff. You know what I mean?
No, I totally agree. Mother's Day is definitely a much bigger holiday. And actually, I don't even know if you know this, well, not right now due to the pandemic, but Mother's Day breakfast is the busiest meal served in a restaurant every
Oh
year.
wow.
That's the busiest time in a restaurant is Mother's Day breakfast.
Now, isn't that funny? Because when I think of Father's Day, I think of like cooking out and barbecuing, and who the fuck is doing the cooking during the cookout? Dad.
The dad.
You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? That's funny that happens that way. Like, mom's like, take me out to brunch. You know what I mean?
That's funny.
Meanwhile, I'm out there. It's 106 degrees trying to cook chicken legs. You know what I mean?
Oh man.
Now, I'm actually surprised that you wanted to do the show today because it was Mother's Day because I know you're a sort of big gesture guy. You know what I mean? Like, and so it must be the pandemic. Like, the virus must have you shook.
No, well, actually, what it is Coco's out. Coco works on the weekends, so she's working right now.
Oh, okay.
So she's working. She works from 12 to 8 on Sundays, so she's working right now.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. Like she works like all weekend long, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It sucks. So I got yesterday I ran and got some flowers and cards and a couple small gifts from her daughter to give to so she can give to her this morning. And so we hid them in her daughter's room, and her daughter said she wanted to go to bed. So I got up this morning and I cooked up some breakfast. And then I woke her daughter up and I, she got up and got ready and got all the gifts gathered and I got the breakfast plated and, we went in and we woke her up and gave her breakfast in bed and gave her presents and, so it was a nice surprise. She was shocked and then she got done eating breakfast and all and then we got situated. We went over and visited her mom and stopped at her sister's house. Her sister had some gifts for Coco. So stopped us all there.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. And then came home and she's been working ever since. But it was nice. It was really, really nice.
See, that's all I really need. You know what I mean? Like that little bit of family time. Like it doesn't have to be like I know some people where Mother's Day, their birthday, like it's like a week long affair. You know what I mean? And I'm just like I'm even as like a person who's genuinely into attention and stuff like that. Like I just need a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like. Hook me up with some gifts. Let me take a nap on the couch. You know what I mean? Don't yell at me during dinner time. I think we'll be good. You know what I mean?
Right on. Too funny. So, what the hell was I say? So the whole cooking. I've been getting more into cooking the last. I cooked some really killer things the past couple nights. Last night I did Now, back in PA, our favorite Mexican spot we go to, I would get this thing called a pina fajita, where it was
right
half a pineapple cut open, and then they would fill it up with like hunks of grilled chicken and shrimp and steak, peppers and onions and chunks of the pineapple grilled and all mixed together. It was delicious. So I've been saying about it, but we didn't. She doesn't like to get shrimp like from the supermarket or anything around here. Like only Whole Foods is the best place to get it, and we didn't feel like driving to go to Whole Foods to get it. And a big thing, like we really don't eat a lot of red meat anymore. Usually it's just like chicken or turkey. So
right.
We actually had steak one night this week, and then I made those the steak stuffed peppers. So we had red meat twice this week already. So I was like, all right, we don't need the steak. We have a bunch of chicken. So I'll just do grilled chicken. I'll grill the pineapple and I'll do peppers and I'll do the onions and I'll add mushrooms to it. And it came out fucking awesome. Like, yeah, I was so shocked. Like, it was the first time I ever did it. And I was so happy and pleased with myself, man. It's delicious.
Yeah, man, like it looks so good. Like I told you in private, like I want to cook something like it later this week. Like I don't think I have the patience for the whole serving it in a pineapple thing, but like I'm gonna try to do it like in a bowl or something like that. Maybe over some rice or something.
Yeah. Like that was the first time I ever like actually cut a pineapple myself. Usually I buy like the thing the containers already sliced.
Yeah.
But it was fucking so good. So
that's awesome.
But the stuffed peppers came out amazing too, man. So at Whole Foods, they had these things. They were called the company is called Broad Street. So I'm like, oh, all right, Philly cheesesteaks. So I got a package of, regular steak and another one of chicken cheesesteak. So
Right.
when we opened the chicken one, we did the chicken ones first the other night. I opened them and I got pissed. They came out like frozen burger patties. I was like, what the fuck is this? I was so pissed. I was like, these motherfuckers. I'm like, they don't know a fucking steak. Fucking Nashville. I'm like, they don't fucking get it. I'm like, I was fucking hot. I was livid. I was like, so looking forward to a fucking cheesesteak. And I was like, what the fuck? So I throw it. I'm like, fuck it. Yeah, whatever. I'll just make them like a fucking cheeseburger. Okay. So I start cooking it and I notice as you cook it, it breaks down. I'm like, oh. So then you're able to fucking shred it. I'm like, oh. And they were fucking really good. So I was like, fuck, I think I might go back and get some more. So I used those. I chicken ones. So I used the regular, beefsteak ones. And I did up 2 of those and I sauteed up some onions and we get this, from Trader Joe's. They have like rice already made and it's frozen. And it's really, really fucking good, like brown rice. So I got that. And then I drained all the grease out of the steak, and then I poured the rice in there and the onions, and I cooked it all, sauteed it all together, and then I stuffed the fucking, I even, like, put some shredded mozzarella in there and cooked it up, and then stuffed the peppers and threw them in the oven for a little while and cooked them up, and then just before they were done, I pulled them out and put some American cheese over top, and, oh, dude, they were so fucking good. So fucking good.
No, I love stuffed peppers. That's one of the things that we have pretty regularly. Is lots of different kinds of stuffed peppers. Yeah. And then lately what I've been doing is I'll make a stuffed pepper casserole. So instead of putting it into the peppers, what I'll do is I'll take the peppers and I'll slice them all up. I won't dice them, so I leave them in like long strips.
Okay.
And then I'll mix it in with the beef and the rice or the chicken or whatever it is, the ingredients, and then put it all in like a casserole dish, cover it with cheese and throw it in the oven. Same principle. It cooks, the peppers there. But that way nobody has to worry about cutting it or, who does or doesn't like that much pepper. They can just, pick the pieces out or whatever. Like, yeah.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah, that way you don't have to, mess around. It's like a one-pot dish almost, you just scoop and serve.
Yeah.
I like that, though. That's, anything that's like meat and rice mixed together and wrapped in something, like, I love it, man. Stuffed cabbages. Oh.
See, I never had, stuffed cabbage yet. Never had cabbage.
See, this is because you're Italian and, like, on my mom's family, there was a lot of, like, Polish, like, that side of you know what I mean? And they did a lot of, like, stuff. And it's really just ground beef and rice and stuff, and you roll it up in cabbage leaves, and then just like you would with the peppers, you put it in, the thing in the oven, you cover it with the sauce, and then let it cook, and it's like a little bomb. You know what I mean?
You know what I had for lunch today? Which, Coco makes this, and she was working. She like got it started, then I finished it up. A spinach artichoke dip. We get like fresh.
Oh wow.
Spinach, like in like the it comes in like big plastic containers. It's like a pound of fucking. It's like a lot. So we'll saute that up in olive oil with some sliced garlic and get a can of artichoke hearts diced up. Cook that in there, and then put some sour cream and some shredded Parmesan and some grated Parmesan, and just keep cooking it all up till it gets all that spinach cooks down, and it just oh yeah, dude, it's so fucking good. Over some chips or tortilla chips, yeah, man, delicious.
Becca loves spinach artichoke dip. Yeah, it's like her favorite thing in the world, man.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's good stuff, dude. Good.
I'm I made like chili in the crock pot at like 3 o'clock in the morning last night, so they've all been just snacking on that all day.
Oh, I love chili. I made chili last week. Oh, I love chili.
I have I just got, like, I ordered it a long time ago, but it just came. It's like Instapot or whatever, and it does like 20 different things. Like, but one of them's a pressure cooker, so that's how I'm cooking the fried chicken today. Yeah, it's so good. So we basically made the chili in that like overnight, and it's just like intense. And like you said, I like Triscuits or just like some crackers to eat it with.
Let's hope 3 times charm.
You know what? I'm starting to get that familiar, like, Blog Talk Radio feel.
I was just going to say, I feel like we're back on Blog Radio. This is the 3rd time we've had to try this. My internet keeps dropping for some reason. Weird.
That's funny.
Yeah. Like, I'm scared to even, like, start getting into all types of different things.
Well, at least you had other things to talk about. I planned on doing a lot of ranting about how Father's Day wasn't as good, but that was about it. Although there were a lot of deaths this week.
You know, there's too much death going on. There's really just too much.
I think that's just what happens when you get old. Like, a lot more people just start dying.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's just like everywhere you turn around, yeah, like, yeah, and it's
weird.
Like icon.
It is, but isn't it funny how like there used to be a point in time where the icons, the people that died, were like people that your parents were a fan of, and now it's starting to be like your people. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. The weird thing is like, you know, Little Richard passed away the other day. I think it might have been our old friend Michael Tierson, the old Philly DJ. I think he kind of summed it up best. Like, you know, he was like one of the last remaining true icons left. There's not many left, if any.
No, I think you're right. I was just talking about this with Kate's mom the other day too. He may be the last. I don't. Yeah, I'm trying to think offhand, like who. You know what I mean? I think, is Jerry Lewis still alive?
No, he passed away a couple of years ago, I think.
Yeah, that would be. I would say that would have been the only one that would have popped to my mind.
Yeah. I see. I don't think this person's like would be considered an icon, but I guess Betty White. But I don't consider her like an icon.
No, for sure. I know what you. I mean, she's been around at this point so long that she's like maybe not. Again, maybe that's like the next generation's icon. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, isn't that weird?
I think it's just with her. It's just age and the Golden Girls show truly made her.
Yeah. And then she had just a string of the things where she was just like cursing and people were like, haha, Betty White cursing.
Right, yeah. Some goofy, funny stuff.
And that just made people like her. Like, yeah, I was looking up the old like Sun Records people to see who was still around, or it doesn't look like a whole lot.
Yeah, you would not believe, like, it's only 6:19 and the fucking moon is out.
Is it really?
The moon is out and the moon is full.
Oh, you know who's still alive? Jimmy Swaggart.
No, is he?
That's according to Wikipedia. He is. There's no death date listed.
I guess he can
85 years old.
I guess he's like an icon and a crook all in one.
Well, he's got that connection to Jerry Lewis. You know what I mean? That's what I was trying to get to see if he was how old he was when he died, or if he was still alive. But yeah, man, that's crazy. Like, I remember the whole big thing went down and he got defrocked and all that. Too funny. Yeah, so check it out. You're not going to believe me when I tell you this, but Jerry Lee Lewis is 84 years old and still alive. And still active.
Holy crap.
He toured as of 2 years ago. Isn't that insane?
How about, I'm not sure how old he is, but Frankie Valli, he's another one.
Yeah, let's see.
Paul McCartney.
You think Paul McCartney, though, is like the next generation up from like Jerry Lewis and Elvis and like how old, and Paul McCartney too. I wonder how old he is. Like, I think they're a little bit, now they're probably not 80s, right?
No,
you think?
Definitely next generation.
Yeah. Frankie Valli, though, I mean, he's pretty, I think he's in his late 80s.
Paul is 77.
Okay, so yeah.
All right.
And Frankie Valli is 86.
Is he really?
Yeah. Holy cow.
Holy cow. And dude, he's still touring.
Yeah, there's some goers out there, man.
Wow. I didn't think he was that old. I love Frankie Valli too.
Oh man, I didn't realize he was that old.
No.
That's amazing.
I do. I just said to freaking Coco, I said to her the other day about the movie because she's never seen the movie, but I said if he comes in concert, we're definitely going. Yeah, and I think I even said before the poor guy dropped dead.
Oh man, that's got to be cool though. Like, how do you condense like a lifetime of music into like a 2-hour show?
Well, I guess you can consider, thankfully, that lifetime of music is, like a 15-year span. You really didn't have any hits after like the mid-70s.
Yeah, I guess that's probably true. But sometimes that doesn't mean that they don't keep putting out music that they want you to listen to in between the hits.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Like.
Okay, so I'm on his Facebook page now. I mean, like, technically, he's supposed to have shows this week in Boston.
Oh, wow.
In Colorado, in Missouri, Illinois. He's got like a busy schedule in June.
Well, so he's out and about.
July, he's all over. July, he's in New York, California, Utah, Idaho, Seattle, Washington. And in August, he's in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. September, 3 nights in Vegas.
Oh, wow.
And California. Hey, he's got a full freaking...
Frankie Valli in Vegas.
Nowhere near Nashville, though. I guess Frankie Valli is really not that popular in Nashville.
I'd go to a Frankie Valli show in Vegas, but only if it was like a real small club where it had that real like old school feel, like tables right up against the stage. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't go if I had to sit in like a coliseum of people for it.
I think he does kind of like theater type places.
That would be cool.
So it's funny. Like, one thing I mentioned to you that I've been meaning to bring up over the last few episodes was Iron from The Flash.
Yes.
I've noticed over the last month, maybe 6 weeks or so, she's kind of like thirsty on the internet. Like, she's been posting like selfies of herself, and she's like really scantily clad and really sexy type poses. And I'm like, what's going on here? I almost feel like she's like went through a breakup and is trying to get revenge on somebody or something. You know what I mean?
That's really funny.
I was
I
wondering if
had
you
stopped following her because she just rubs me the wrong way.
right.
And I think she's ruining the Flash, but aside from that, no, but I'm going back over the pictures and I see what you mean now, like.
So it's not just me.
No, there's definitely like an uptick in,
Yeah.
like the sexual nature of what she's wearing and like,
Uh-huh.
especially if you go back just a little bit, that it was very sort of classy and
Yeah.
now it's like leather and underwear and
Yeah.
I don't know if that's just different photographers or different styles, but there's definitely something. It doesn't really match up.
No. So yeah, I mean, maybe it could even be something like trying to change our image a little bit.
She's about to turn heel.
Yeah. Yep. It's too funny. Too funny. So the other thing that to get into is, of course we've talked about it a lot over the last month. Is the whole quarantine, the pandemic, and things are now like the country's really like at war with itself. Like things are starting to reopen, and people are fed up, and they want stuff reopened, and they don't care. And I kind of don't get it. Like I get like people are upset and frustrated or tired of being locked down, but I don't know. Like I think they're rushing it. I think it's going to be bad in the long run. Like I just don't understand. Like
I think it's at the end of the day, Americans are spoiled little bitches. Like I'll say it. Like they are. Like I am. I you know what I mean? I'm including myself in with that. Like some of us just don't want to wait. They don't want to struggle. They don't want to have to. America is, the land of plenty. So people, they don't want to think about like the real sort of ramifications of this. And I am a firm believer that we have yet to see the worst of this.
I agree.
And I think that these are people that are holding on to this hope that like America is going to save them in a way that like, because we haven't had to struggle in so long. You know what I mean? We haven't had to really sort of sacrifice in a really long time. Even like the biggest thing in my lifetime, 9/11, it really didn't require the American people to sacrifice anything. It happened and then we had to get over it. You know what I mean? Like Desert Storm wasn't nearly as prolific and as impactful as Vietnam was. You know what I mean? It's lessened and lessened over the years. And like now all of a sudden Americans are like, what the hell? Like we can't do this. So you can't keep us at home. We have rights, man. Like that's what America's about. My rights. And like, I think people are going to start to see that like, maybe instead of looking at it as like somebody taking your rights, you could look at it as you're sacrificing some of those rights for the greater good. You know what I mean? But like people, they don't believe that shit. They see something on Facebook and because somebody that made them laugh once posted it, they believe it without looking it up. You know what I mean? Like there's just a whole lot of false information. Just like always, we're split as a country, almost right down the middle between people that say open the hell back up, you're costing us our lives, and people that are saying don't open up, you're going to cost us our lives.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's a no-win situation, I think, and it's a lesson that I think maybe America has to learn so that we can get back to that part of when America gave a shit about each other. You know what I mean? Like, we've reached out a little bit too far, and it's like smacking your hand and pulling it back a little bit, I think. Hopefully we all survive this and the world is a better place for it. But like, there's a lot of stupidity out there right now.
Yeah. Like let me ask you this, like, we are both people who like to go out and go to restaurants and enjoy good meals and sit down and, you're sitting in a crowded restaurant with a bunch of other people. And also not as much you, but like your wife and daughter like to go to concerts like I do and go to like concerts that are in clubs or even larger outdoor concerts or indoor concerts in arenas. Like, would you feel safe for yourself or your family doing either of those, going to a restaurant, say by the end of this month, going into a restaurant and eating or going to a concert?
Hell no. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Like, we actually have concert tickets for August, so we're hoping, you know what I mean, that everything's good by then, that if there's a second wave, that we, you know, maybe we're getting over it by then, but like, absolutely not. To be honest with you, on Monday, restaurants can start opening in Arizona at like 25% seating or something like that. And, we won't even order takeout now from those restaurants. If you're open like that to the public, then we're probably not going to use you now. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not, even willing to, because the more people that are going to be in, the more, you know, food handlers are going to be exposed. And I just don't,
that's a good point.
I don't want to be a guy that's hoping for something bad to happen, and I'm really not. I just feel like this hasn't been nearly as bad as they said it could be, and I'm thinking that this is why we're about to get hit with a second wave. You know what I mean? And I hope not, man. I hope that like a month from now, I'm so wrong. You know what I mean? Like, but the opposite of being wrong is being dead. You know what I mean? So I'd rather be wrong.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Like, I totally, I feel you. Like, I first off, I will not go, and it kills me because I'm dying to go out to eat. I'm dying to go out and enjoy some, you know, go to a bar and have some drinks and just chill and relax. But yeah, I will not do it anytime soon. Same with concerts. Like, I just don't feel safe. I don't want to take that chance and put, especially, you know, for me and you with these autoimmune diseases that we have, we're really putting ourselves in a high risk. I'm not ready to take that fucking chance yet. Like, I don't mind like going to a supermarket because, you know, I wear my mask and I go in, I just kind of do what I got to do and get the fuck out and keep to myself and I keep my distance,
right?
You know, and then as soon as I get home, like, you know, I get everything in the house and I immediately wash my hands and, I'll wash my mask and I'll wipe everything down and then I like take my clothes off immediately and get a shower.
Right. It's like an ordeal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just, I get it. You know what I mean? People are worried. How are they going to feed their kids and stuff? But I don't think it's a mistake. That's just my, you know what I mean? Just my opinion.
Yeah, it is. I think there's going to be a second wave, and I think it's going to be bad. And I think this second wave could probably be avoided or cut down drastically if they would slow down. It seems like in the past so many days, like all of a sudden, like there's just a rush now to reopen stuff.
Yeah, I don't know what happened either because in Arizona, the guy was like, "We will not rush," and then 4 days later started announcing openings.
Yeah, something happened, and I think they're just feeling the pressure because I think a lot of the businesses are turning around and basically saying they're going to open regardless. And
then how do you start, you know, how do you start punishing those people? You know what I mean? Do you just hand out tickets all day, every day? You know what I mean? Are you really going to try and put these people in jail?
Right.
Yeah, it's going to be. I hope it doesn't go that route because that would be a very interesting route.
Yeah. Scary.
Imagine seeing police who don't really have any recourse. They can't just fine you because you're not making any money and not going to pay it. They don't want to put you in jail with real criminals. So imagine we just have police start going in there and trashing places.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting thing. And you know that's what's going to happen. Like, you know, some cops are going to get pushed around and pushed to their limit. They're going to end up snapping. It's going to get bad. Like, this is going to cause a lot of problems in this country.
I definitely don't disagree with you. I have that same feeling when I see like these dudes with like their AR-15s like protesting at the Capitol and like I'm not taking away their right to have their gun or anything like that, but like what happens when some asshole sheriff who like is hungover from the night before and he doesn't want to deal with your shit because all of his fucking paycheck goes to his ex-wife and he thinks that you made an aggressive move, so he fucking opens fire during this protest. And all of a sudden, because, like, 90% of these soccer dads out there with the ARs and their machine guns and all that have never actually been in a firefight, so there's just
Right.
a fucking pile of dead dad bodies. You know what I mean? Like, they were dead before they knew they were in a firefight, because once one cop shot, the next cop shot, and the next cop shot, you know what I mean? Like, what happens then? Like, what happens when white people are afraid of the police? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
the world is gonna go downhill quickly.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy, man. I don't know.
Imagine some, like, fat dude with an AR just, like, trips and his fucking gun accidentally goes off.
Yeah. Like, what did they think they were going to do? Like, they're going there to the Capitol with guns. Like, oh boy, you have a gun. Are you really going to pull the shoot somebody? Like, stop. Like, these fucking people.
That's what I'm saying. They don't recognize, like, the danger that they're putting themselves in. And I'm not saying don't have the gun, and I'm not saying don't protest, but, like, accidents happen and shit happens, and people are on edge, and
Right.
it could create a domino effect that we don't want to deal with.
Yeah, exactly. Crazy. So, all right, well, I'm actually ready to wrap up because I didn't have much to talk about, and I'm actually going to order out for Mother's Day.
Are you?
And yeah, the sushi place that I was telling you about, they just reopened just for carry out the other day finally. So I was like, oh, so we got to do that for Mother's Day, but they close at 8:00. So I want to like call
Right.
and go. It's like 20 minutes away and go pick it up. And
all right, man. Well, then we'll wrap it up.
But yeah, so we got to come back next week. We got to do a whole bunch of topics and get into a whole bunch of good stuff. But I just wanted to get on here and do a Mother's Day episode and wish all the mothers out there happy Mother's Day. And thought it'd be nice for us to, reminisce about our moms and things like that. And,
For sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, all right. Do the snappy close, Nick. You're good at that.
All right, guys, so that's going to wrap up this week's episode of The Basic Show. And don't forget, you can find us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, probably a bunch of other places that I don't even know about yet. You can leave comments if you have things that you want us to talk about on the show or talk about next week or whatever. Definitely let us know. There's a bunch of YouTube videos out there right now. We're trying to get over 500 on one of them. I haven't checked today, so we might have even made it, but I'm not sure. And that's really going to wrap it up until next week, man. So until then, you got to always stay driven and always keep making shit happen.
And we hit 501 views, just to fill you in. There you go.
Nice. See?
Yeah.
Look at that.
How about that? All right, everybody. Thanks, man. See you next week.